The old man didn't eat or drink every day, staring at the 2 salted fish hanging on the window. Unexpectedly, he suddenly wrote the first word in our country's history. Only because he created words, let humans go from the years of confusion to civilized life. Even the emperor used to cut grass to deal with government affairs. But with the development of the times, it was hard to manage complicated things. This simple method of counting could no longer meet people's needs. There were more and more things to record. It was getting more and more cumbersome. In the end, they couldn't even identify themselves. It even brought a lot of trouble to life. Later, people began to draw circles on the wall to record. But there was still no way to solve the problem from the root. The emperor was so worried. To solve this problem for the emperor, a minister named Cangjje studied hard every day. One day, Cangjje went out of the palace to work for the emperor. But Cangjje, who was of age, fainted. He wanted the horseman to stop. As a result, the headless horseman mistakenly thought it was to speed up. When the horse was speeding up, Cangjje was so scared that his legs were weak. Because the speed was too fast, a big stone hit the carriage. At that time, the horse overturned. Cangjje's old bone also fell off the carriage. Fortunately, he was not seriously injured. But what the emperor said was messed up. A bunch of broken ropes got into a mess. This made Cangjje realize that he had to hurry up and find a way to replace the rope. The carriage was exhausted. After a day's work, the 2 finally returned home late at night. After dinner, Cangjje told the horseman to go to the market early in the morning tomorrow and use a horse to replace 2 carriages. The not-so-smart horseman listened. He quickly recorded it with a rope. Before leaving in the morning, Cangjje told him to pull 1 more horse to pull the carriage back. In this way, the horseman signed 2 horses and went to the cattle market. When the horseman asked the merchant the price, the not-so-smart horseman, the merchant actually took off on the spot. He said that 2 horses could only replace 1 carriage. The horseman took out his stolen straw rope. It was really 2 for 1. Under the deception of the merchant, he made this deal. The horseman could only pull the carriage home by himself. Seeing that the horseman only pulled back a carriage, Cangjje almost carried it over. It was ridiculous that his father was ridiculous. Through this matter, Cangjje became more sure of the drawbacks of the straw rope timing method. He must study the symbols of better timing as soon as possible. So, he began to study day and night, even for several days and nights without eating or drinking. On this day, the wind was exceptionally strong at night, and the 2 salted fish hanging by the window were swaying. Looking at the salted fish in the moonlight, Cangjje seemed to think of something. He pointed to the tea next to him with his finger and drew the shape of the fish according to the shadow on the table. This symbol represents the fish. The first word in our country's history appeared. Cangjje was excited. The next morning, Cangjje was outside the house in the shape of the sun. He drew the symbol of the sun. A big round ball and a dot in the middle represent the sun. Looking at the crystal mouth of the 4 pieces of wood, Cangjje wrote the word for vigilance. Looking at the door frame, he wrote another word. Looking at the shape of the mountain stacked together, he immediately had the word for the mountain. Cangjje succeeded. He finally invented the symbol that represents everything. This inspiration was indelible. Looking at the horseman's eyes, he wrote the word for wood. The shape of the ears can also be written as ears. So Cangjje wrote some words immediately and let the horseman take them to the market to find the swindler. The swindled horseman was furious. He grabbed the merchant and questioned him. Then he took out the word written by Cangjje. Take a look. 1 horse and 2 carts? That's right. My master said it's not 2 horses and 1 cart. It's 1 horse and 2 carts. Your master? Who is your master? He is the emperor's subordinate, Cangjje. The merchant knew he couldn't afford to offend him. He changed his attitude immediately. He let the horseman take the horse back. Unexpectedly, the horseman had a new discovery. The merchant not only cheated, but also stole. The righteous horseman immediately released the pig he stole. In a panic, the pig rushed into the herd of horses. The merchant's horse was in a mess for a moment. All the horses rushed out. The merchant was left in a daze. Cangjje came to the palace immediately. He took the word he made and reported it to the emperor. The emperor was also very interested in this. When Zheng Dang saw the word Cangjje brought up, the emperor was excited. When he saw these shapes, the emperor recognized them at a glance. These symbols express things. This is the moon. This is the moon. This is the hand. That's right. This is the wood. Put your hand on your eyes and you'll see. The emperor's invention of Cangjje was praised. He was very happy. The emperor quickly took out the straw rope from his arms and threw it on the table. He didn't have to be so troublesome in the future. When the straw rope came to the table, the emperor immediately ordered Cangjje to be responsible for making the word. Let all over the country use this method. The legend of Cangjje's writing occupies an important position in ancient Chinese culture. Although it is commonly believed that Cangjje created the Chinese character, it is just a legend. But he may be the organizer of Chinese characters. He was also respected by his descendants as the creator of characters. In addition, there is a legend that Cangjje has eyes with 2 eyes. He was born with a sharp eye. Through observing the movement of the stars, birds and beasts created characters by hand, and then finished the work of the rope. He created the first river of civilization and was honored as the writer Cangjje. After Cangjje successfully created characters, a strange thing happened in the world. It was raining in the sky that day. You could hear the sound of crying ghosts everywhere at night. At that time, some people said that the rain was because the sky was moved. This is a big event. Xia Suyu expressed that people